Tracy Ferrand here. Stop buying love. Stop buying love. How do we buy love? We do this consciously and unconsciously by people pleasing, fawning mode, in certain situations or of a threat, psychological threat or physical threat. People will fight, freeze, fawn. There's one more, I don't remember the other one. Fight, freeze, or fawn. Fawn means that you're being nice, you're being good, thinking that if I do this, then the pain will go away. If I fawn, the person won't hurt me to any extent. And then so that's fawning. The next thing is we should stop buying love, not only by people pleasing, fawning, but also seeking unnecessary attention, grandstanding. Stop thinking that it can fill a void. If people don't value us, if they lack the character, respect for you, or just respect for people overall, that's just who they are. Maybe they're narcissistic, self-seeking. Buying love doesn't change that. And that's just the reality. Emotional dependencies as well. We may be dependent on the person because for food, clothing, housing, and even children too. Sometimes they are taught to buy love. I'm going to be nice. I'm going to be obedient so that I am not harmed, so I'm not neglected, so I'm not a problem to anybody. And so the child learns to fall in line with people even if they are hurting because they don't want to be a burden. So the child pays for it by being invisible, self-sacrificing, because they know that they need the guardian, they need the parent, they need the people around them for food, clothing, and shelter. And so it's a psychological safety mechanism for children because they are dependent, they're naturally dependent. Where else do they go? They go on the bus, they're with strangers. They go on the train, they're with strangers. They're on the airplane, they're with strangers. They need the shelter, they need the housing, they need the food. All right, so kids also learn this like a trade-off. And so it's something that's programmed within their system. And so as we get older, we have to learn to disconnect our needs because now we can provide for ourselves, at least to some extent. If we don't fall in misfortune, we can provide for ourselves. So we have to learn to separate our needs from love, separate our wants from love. Our want for food, clothing, and shelter and our need for love are two different things. But sometimes we confuse that and confuse support with love because we've learned that since we've been younger. It's something within our system, all right? Especially depending on the stability of the home that you grew up in your community, in the society, the kind of era that you grew up in, and so on. So those emotional dependencies sometimes teach us to buy love. But the solution is bringing ourselves, or one of the solutions, I think, is bringing ourselves to the consciousness and acceptance of the truth, looking beyond our emotions, looking beyond natural and unnatural bonds, looking beyond culture and religion, and seeing the truth to liberate us. So our love should be all first towards ourselves. Love is something that is healthy. Love is not unhealthy. Love is truth. Love is correction. Love learns. Love grows. Love builds. It gives life. It brings light. It sustains. So anything that's opposite is not love. And so we should stop buying love because it's like a drug and we're feeding ourselves to saying that I'm being kind to this person or I'm grandstanding or whatever it is that we do to buy love from people. It's a constant thing because it is not authentic. It is not fundamental. So we're constantly going to people, to our friends, to our family, to our associates, Some people, their husband, their spouse, their boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever, buying love and buying affection through kindness, through acts of kindness, through self-sacrifice, putting your needs second. That's also buying love as well by denying yourself. So we should stop buying love and instead fill that thing within us that gives us the stability and the wholeness that we need. And once we fix that gap and have a healthy sense of love for ourselves, and in terms of understanding the relationships around us, then we will realize that we have a healthy sense of how we gain love and how we distribute love. And so we manage love in a healthy way instead of buying love, pawning off love. All right? Because it's like a pyramid scheme, it's going to collapse. It's like drugs, it's going to eventually destroy you. So the best thing is to cut it off, recognize that you have a longing inside of you, and look at where it's coming from, and to put measures in place to learn and to unlearn. So stop buying love by people pleasing, fawning, seeking unnecessary attention, and looking for security and emotional dependencies. So once we fix those, we'll have a healthy sense of love, because love is not unhealthy. Love is not a drug. It's like life-giving water. It doesn't run dry, and it's not something that you come denying yourself and paying for. As I said, like a drug, you want a hit. Oh, I want love from this, my mom, my dad, my friend, my love. I need, so you go and you betray yourself for an ounce of love, but you have to keep on doing it. And when people recognize this need within us, they take advantage of it. And so we ought to be careful about how much and what we project, because people can smell neediness on people. And even people, even when they seem very confident and bold, maybe they're at work, they're a solid, bold person, but in terms of their relationship, they have that sense of need and that sense of neediness and dependency that causes them to buy love. So it has nothing to do with personality, whether you're quiet, loud, in between, or going through a moment. It has to do in terms of how we see ourselves, how we love ourselves, and looking at those emotional gaps and what we've been trained or to be and shaped to be, and how to gain supply since we've been children, since we've been in churches, since we've been in communities, since we've been in educational systems, since we've been in families, since we've been in jobs, different jobs, because sometimes your job frames your personality as well and the environment that we're in. So we should stop buying love and look at the causes and to fill our lives in a healthy way. Just like a doctor I knew years ago. He was a very good doctor, and he solved people's foundational problems. I knew someone who was going to him for years. No, not for years, going to another doctor for years, and the problem wasn't solved, and they kept on treating it, and at some point it began to get worse. And they were going to this doctor for maybe 10 years. But then she went to him, and the doctor solved the problem, and since then, for 20 odd years, she's never had that problem again. So we have to be our own doctors, or allow God to be our doctor, and to read and to understand and to assess ourselves and where our needs come from, in terms of not just in terms of our foundations, but in terms of society and what we've been taught as well. So stop buying love, and I know sometimes culture supports it as healthy, but love is something that is healthy, and it gives you a firm foundation, and it's like living water. You don't have to keep on debasing yourself for it. Love is healthy, love is strong, love is courageous. So be of good courage, and stop buying love, and set yourself on a good foundation and understand yourself.